Yo, what up? It's your boy Soulo. Now we back here again with another one, and this is gonna be about you can't heal a sick society if you know the system has implemented many ways on how to suppress people's health, um, physical wise, spiritually, and mentally. Like it should be common sense that nothing in your surroundings is healthy and everything is polluted, and not in your best interest to be in your most optimal way of living, experiencing, and just surviving. They put you in survival mode and put all these, um, they implement all these poison and distractions that's not really beneficial to the human psyche or, just living beings in general. So it's just common sense how everything should be known as. And they say, they tell you that, a little bit of just a little bit of something is okay as long as you take in small amounts when it comes to these products that we take and digest, and alcohol, which doesn't make any sense because people consume a lot of toxic stuff that accumulates over time, and that's the result of how mentally ill and physically ill how society is right now. So even if you have this mentality, you're only going to live once, YOLO type shit, then that's synthetic mentality because you're not being responsible as a spirit in the flesh. Like, you need to understand that this is something that you have to take serious because none of this is for no reason. This is some type of evolutionary thing that we're going through and experiencing. So this physical vessel has to be, how you say, it has to be, taken care of and utilized in the most divine way where, we have to have balance and, have, understand what we are and find God and spirit and take this shit serious, because if you don't take it serious, then there's no balance. It's just going to be chaotic and no morals. So you're supposed to take this shit serious. Your spirit moving in a physical vessel, like, you're supposed to take care of nature, period. It just doesn't make sense how people are clueless and so distracted with what's important. So there is some type of heaven and hell in how you make your heaven and hell, whatever you're lost in your mind as a spirit, whatever bias you're in, that's you made your own bed. So without understanding that we're all in this reality as a collective, and we're creating our experience as a collective, as spirits, manifesting and creating the physical reality. So it's like a lot of retarded people and, who just doesn't get it. They're just lost in the ego. So they only care about themselves, which doesn't make any sense because it takes a team to develop where we're at right now. You can't do it alone, obviously, but it just takes common sense to understand these things. So you can't heal a sick society if we're ignoring the problem. What I mean by that is policies is not enough. Like rules, regulations, and policies, justice and jail time is not enough, because you have to fix the problem. You have to fix what the government is allowing and, not taking responsible for what they're supposed to do. Like all you retarded ass police agents and who are stuck in biases and shit like that, you only see what you think is what you only see and what you feel, what you think is right. And you are limited to your awareness and knowledge. And you think, you know, the US system is, you might not think it's perfect, but you think it's the best thing there is. And how, you know, you're indoctrinated by science and all this limited, retarded shit when you're not supposed to get lost in a bias. You as a spirit controlling the mind, which is controlling the physical body, that itself should tell you that it's the spirit coming into an awareness and evolving, not using your mind to think and overthink and get into biases, which is lostness. And that's what's developing the circumstance right now. You're supposed to see it for what it is and not get too attached to what you think and what you feel, because how you think, your awareness, the spirit creating the mind, is creating a mind, is creating an awareness to be aware of its surroundings. And your feelings, your emotions is how you connect to those things in your surroundings or what within yourself. So that's where you should stop, because once you start thinking and feeling whatever you think is right, then you're stuck in a world that's already made with these spiritual tools. You know, the mental awareness and how that awareness jumps into worlds and connecting to, you know, and that's how it becomes physical and dense. I'm not going to go into deep into that spiritual stuff, but I have other videos you can look at. And, you know, we are creating our experience from within. So anything else that you think out of your mind, you think something outside of you is creating you, that's lostness, because as a spirit, you're growing and expanding inside of an environment that shares the same natural qualities as you. You know, the air, we breathe in the air, we have water inside of us, and our flesh is like earthly material, you know, the dirt, and how it grows plants and stuff like that, and how you can correlate that to hair and stuff like that. So, you know, this is a cycle that we're creating. This is a cycle that we are experiencing, and you know, you should see the correlation like it's just common sense. We are our reality. We are nature coming out of nature. Everything is alive. Everything is a you know, spirit. So look what the government is doing, the system is doing. It's not in your best interest. Otherwise, they would have been fixed it by now. Instead of wasting so much money on, you know, wasting our tax money on bullshit and things that don't matter, instead of healing the nation and, you know, implementing the right food sources so people can, you know, grow and expand, and give them the proper knowledge and tools to, you know, farm and build their own environment. You know, this rat race is just, it doesn't make any sense, because we are creating our reality, and this is what, you know, you're not going, whatever you think you're going after death is a bias. You're lost in a bias. It's gonna be for no reason, because we're all gonna come back here and experience life again. You know, the cycle of life, death, rebirth, and we're gonna keep on evolving and experiencing and building on top of whatever has been built right now. This is what the ecosystem is doing. This is what the spirit is doing, is becoming aware and accumulating into existence and creating itself and relating towards other species and stuff like that. and gaining more knowledge and wisdom and how to go about things. So if you're a spirit that's into religious belief or whatever, bias, science, whatever it is, you're just going to be a spirit who's going to come back here again, and you're going to be religious again, you without even, realizing, you're not going to take your memories with you, but you take your experience, you take on what's familiar to you after your next life, and you get to, it's like spiritual muscle memory. It's like, spiritual memory, I guess. You take on your awareness and your experience. That's whatever you allow in your spirit, aka your space, that's what's going to be familiar to you as you keep on evolving and expanding. Life, death, rebirth. So the spirit doesn't know the difference between what's alive and what's death, life and death, because your spirit is just your space becoming, developing an awareness, a mind, and we're just connecting and evolving and, just experiencing life. But, the spirit is what's accumulating this. The spirit is accumulating from the mind. The spirit developed the mind, and it's becoming dense. Is becoming physical. Your mind is a fluid. Your mind is what's developing the flesh. So this is what we're doing. It doesn't know the difference between life and death. It's just we're moving in a flow. It's like everything is water in its own density. So the same way it is in your dreams. Your dreams is fluid. That's what's condensing into physical reality before it becomes physical. So people need to get this shit together, because this shit is retarded. But you can't fix a country if it's not enough to fix your environment with just jail time and policies alone. You gotta pinpoint what's causing all of this mental illness in the country, and we need to teach people how important nature is, the spirituality, astrology, the real astrology, not that surface level bullshit. The esoteric meanings of, life, and how we could learn about our own alignments and chakras and what they mean, So we need to start implementing that real astrology and build real things that matter. And I'm gonna just leave it at that. Peace.